Embracer Group also rebranded to Fellowship Entertainment. Because if you don't remember, they now own the rights to Lord of the Rings for video games. So, I mean, they've got to be working on something, right? Like you don't, yeah, COO Matthew Karch claimed that the group's priority should be turning the Lord of the Rings into one of gaming's biggest franchises. He's no longer with Embracer, which split with Saber Interactive a while ago, but the sentiment appears to have remained the same given the brand name's choice. I think they're going all in. I think in the next like 3 years, we see a ton of Lord of the Rings stuff coming from these guys because they own a bunch of studios. And I think this is the new focus, which if you're a fan of Lord of the Rings, might be really good. It might also mean we get a ton of garbage, but we'll see. We'll see. The point is they are rebranding, calling themselves Fellowship Entertainment, and at that point, I mean, you're clearly going all in. So would it not be possible to just do the Todd, Freudian slip there, to just do the Todd and remaster the EA Lord of the Rings trilogy? That would be great. The Oblivion Effect. I don't know if they could do that because they have the rights to the current franchise, but I don't think they have the rights to the old content. Like Embracer doesn't have the rights to do a re-release of Shadow of Mordor, for example. Like they don't have that ability now. So while I do think like a remaster of Shadow of Mordor mixed with Shadow of War, combine them into one package, I think that does well. They don't have the rights to it. Warner Brothers could still do it, but you know, they don't. Middle Earth. Oh yeah, the Nemesis system. Well, look at this. Look at this. I actually saved this as a bookmark because it was freaking funny. And I just saw it this morning. Hold on. Forgive the brain rot for it being on TikTok. Just watch this. This was goated. I just saw this morning. Okay. Bro didn't even wait 3 seconds. Just wait. You might think what's happening. You don't. So he finds a guy, recruits him as Bro. Okay. He tells him to retreat.
As you command.
Heal the skin! See what's happening!
Serving your army was a miserable farce. So I'm going to make sure no orc ever has to do it again.
Bro got recruited, sent home, just walked up around. Was like, I quit. I'm betraying you. He's like, yeah, the 3 seconds I spent serving you were miserable. I've never had that happen, at least that I can remember. But little things like that, that's part of the fun of the Nemesis system, is you get wacky stuff like that, dude. It's great. It's great. Creative Assembly is the Embracer Group, so maybe a real Lord of the Rings Total War. Yeah, maybe, but given Total War's performance recently, I wouldn't get my hopes up. Because what was the recent one? It was like Total War Pharaoh, I think was the more recent one. There might have been one even sooner than that, because this was like 2023. Yeah. But this is the problem with them, is that they just have like a decent game, but then they just strip everything out and try to sell it back to you. And they got enough blowback from this that I think they walked it back a good bit. But like, look at some of these, like Warhammer 3. Like the whole thing is just built on all of the little DLC, the extra stuff. Instead of just giving you a complete game with all this stuff, they just piecemeal it at $18, $19, $9, $9, $19, $9. Yeah, it's on sale right now, but normally this is a $20 thing. If you want Rise of the Tomb of the Kings, if you want this group, yeah, you got to pony up $20 basically. You know, it's really unfortunate because you can have an otherwise really good game, but they just break it all up. So for the full game, you have to basically spend $200-$300, and it sucks. The reason I think they can get away with it largely with Warhammer is because Warhammer guys, if you don't know, and I say this as somebody who has like 5 armies, which I think is proof of the point. People who play Warhammer are conditioned to spend a lot of money on their hobby. So you can get away with it, I think. Like, you're much more likely to get through with it. But once you go into the realm of like Lord of the Rings, that fan base is not going to behave the same way. Warhammer tabletop players, yeah, they'll spend I don't like, what's an example? Like Magnus. This one statue, I've brought him on stream before because I have mine painted he's in the glass case over there. But he's a mini for the tabletop game, and he comes like this. You build him, you paint him, and he stands probably like this tall, with the wings and everything. The core body is probably about that big, and it's $170. So it's understood that if you're going to be getting into Warhammer, you're going to be spending a lot of money. So I think when people go over and they start engaging with like, the video game side of it, if they're interested, they might be more prone to spending money more loosely, but that does not spill over to other IP. It just doesn't. And even then, like, the Warhammer fans will be upset about it and won't like it, but they do it because they can get away with it because people are buying it, They wouldn't do it unless it's sold.